communication with all these new guys. And then one of the things we've seen this preseason is they're not boxing out and rebounding very well, so they need to fix that.
Yeah. Well, I think they will eventually. They were shooting the ball so well in that first game. I watched you guys in Chicago, Matt, and they were shooting the ball so well they didn't need to rebound.
Yeah, and then they went cold in game 2, and that's just the way preseason is as the Spurs knock down their first corner three.
Yeah, they really do. That's Lonnie Walker, the fourth, and Lonnie likes to play against the Rockets. He's had a couple of big games against Houston. You know, the interesting thing, there you see Eric Gordon with an air ball. The interesting thing about San Antonio, they've had #1 picks now for the last 6 years, and all 6 of those #1 picks are still on the roster. And that's unusual to see a team do that, and they have a couple of second-round picks that are suited up tonight. So they keep their own. DeMarcus Cousins from the outside. Rebound by Houston's #1 draft choice many years ago.
Yeah, Rudy
Gay.
Gay. And Rudy Gay is another player in the NBA who has come back from a torn Achilles. And Rudy Gay looks very good now, several years out from that. So he shows you what can be done with a lot of rehab.
DeJounte Murray with the jumper now to give him the lead. There's P.J. Tucker with his first shot of the preseason from the corner, and of course he makes it.
Well, that's his spot. Last year he was the leading scorer in the NBA from the corner three-point shots, and picks up right where he left off.
Shot from the outside, and the Spurs are red hot to start it off. DeMar DeRozan has picked up some range. He's now 2 for 2 in the preseason on three-pointers. He doesn't normally do that. He had 12.7 assists Saturday against OKC. There's a nice give and go by Eric Gordon. He tips it up his miss, and it will not go down. Rudy Gay in a hurry. Murray on the outside. Shoots it over Harden. That's short. Good defense. Goes right into the hands of Rudy Gay for a turnaround, and San Antonio has not missed.
And that's a rebounding problem that the Rockets have to fix. And this Rockets team should be a much better rebounding team than they were last year when they went small.
Harden will shoot it from the outside, and he picks up where he left off last season with a 3. Boy, he had a good bubble.
Yeah, he really did. And he's not been in camp here in Houston, but he's in shape. He looks slim and trim, moving well.
Lonnie Walker from the outside with a miss. Harden again. Had 2 Spurs trying to guard him, and they fouled him behind the three-point line, and whatever changes in the NBA.
And here's PJ in the corner. See, the Spurs had to choose if they were going to rotate to DeMarcus Cousins or PJ, and they chose to leave PJ open, and now you see the Spurs come right back at it with DeRozan with the 3.
Did you get the assist on that basket by PJ Tucker? DeMarcus Cousins.
Yes.
But the first pass made by James, he saw it immediately. But now with Cousins, we've got some big guys on the lineup now, but they play outside a little bit. And so he is a good ball handler and a good shooter.
Well, a couple years back before Cousins was injured, he had an incredible season where he had 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. One of only 7 players in NBA history to have those kind of numbers with the 5 assists. So not only is a big guy who can rebound and bang, but he also can pass.
And the Rockets have all of a sudden gone from small ball to a couple of big guys that give Harden a lot of options too, and we'll talk about that as the game goes on. There's a steal by Harden, and he picks up the ball, so he looks in midseason form. Eric Gordon thought about it for a minute, gets it right back again. Now he'll fire it up, and he misses. He couldn't miss anything in Chicago in game 1. He said he tightened up a little bit at the half in game 2, so he did not play in the second half there, and there's a miss from the outside. But you notice the tempo now as San Antonio has gone from a veteran team that won 5 NBA championships to a young team that likes to run. The Rockets will run again, and there is Greg Popovich, who looks like a 70-year-old Barry Gibb.
Huh? He looks like Barry Gibbs' pops.
Man, he looked like an old rock star, doesn't he? Huh? I got to talk to him about that. I like it.
Obviously, he's been in quarantine. He hasn't been to the barber shop in a while.
Well, of course not. Good defense on LaMarcus Aldridge.
And here's LaMarcus driving. And Cousins gets beat a little bit, so he just hacks. And no call, I guess, huh?
Yeah, well, young referee Brandon Schwab was right there. Didn't call anything. That's good. Shot clock is running down to 4 seconds now. Down to 3, down to 2, and putting it up in a hurry. And, boy, Lonnie Walker is zeroed in. Cousins throws it to Rudy Gay. DeJounte Murray back outside. Walker says, why not? I'm hot. And popping up off the bench is Steven Silas to call a timeout. San Antonio red hot, 6 of 11 for 55 from the field. But James Harden trying to keep the Rockets in the game with a first quarter 3.
It's not enough to help him take his first step. It's not enough that she can hear her own voice. It's not enough to reduce her recovery time, deliver breakthrough therapies, or pioneer minimally invasive procedures. If the people we treat aren't treated as people. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
Toyotathon is on. Now's the time to get a great deal on Tacoma, RAV4, Camry, and more. I'll take it. I'll get this wrapped up for you. I wish I hadn't just unwrapped it.
During Toyotathon, get $1,500 total bonus, or qualified lessees can lease a new, virtually indestructible 2021 Tacoma Special Edition for only $199 a month.
Toyotathon is on. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
This can't be an easy process. I want to know what goes into it, from designing to actually applying those designs to the shoe.
Oh, it's definitely a long process. I think, first and foremost, depending on who I'm doing the shoes for, I like to research the player a little bit and get inspired by what they're about, what their style is like, and what the colors, what kind of colors they would make sense for them. And then from there, I go into Photoshop and I start mocking up things, actually using colors and using graphic elements just to make sure I have everything how I want it, to make sure it looks right in real life as is in my head. And then from there, I start prepping the shoe. It takes a lot of, you got to sand the shoe down, you got to deglaze the shoe, tape it off, mask it off, and it's a fairly involved process, but it's
where he's lost a step. He's been off, as Kaylee talked about early in the game, he's been off for over 2 years, and yet that first step is still as quick as I remember.
And that's really what we need to see, is the explosion after Achilles injury, and John Wall on the floor to get the fast break started.
Harden with the basketball. Gets a double team, gets it back to Cousins. Cousins on the drive. Hey, how about a 7-footer with a handle?
Yeah, James Harden playing pick and roll with DeMarcus Cousins is going to be impossible to guard. You can't guard it with 2 guys. You're going to have to bring 3 guys in, and that still might not be enough.
There's a steal by Wall and a foul by Wall. You see Silas right there clapping his encouragement because Wall's a pretty good defensive player too. Stephen was leading the offense for Dallas the last couple of seasons, and they were the most effective offense last year in the NBA.
Yeah, in fact, they were the #1 offensive rating in NBA history last year. So if DeMarcus Cousins does not go for that block right there, and LaMarcus Aldridge gets the dunk, but Rockets offense should be very good. The defensive end is where they need to improve.
Aldridge also look for him now to spit it out and go behind the three-point line to shoot. He's done that a lot in the preseason. Eric Gordon can only put it up with one arm. He had the other one held.
Eric has been getting into the paint at will here in the preseason. You see how slim and trim he looks.
Yeah.
And he just goes right by LaMarcus Aldridge, who has to foul him so he doesn't get a layup.
Kind of in the story of Eric's career. One good year, one off year. It's been tough on him.
Well, the Houston Rockets are excited to begin hosting games with fans on December 23rd against the OKC Thunder. Rockets and Toyota Center staff have been hard at work to ensure a special first-class live experience this year at Toyota Center. More than ever, the Rockets need you to create a great home court advantage. Call 713-758-7300 for your Rockets ticket information.
Hey, it's fun. We got a band up here. There's a band, a lot of guys playing the drums. We've got Clutch dancing with the Rocket dancers, and so there's all kind of action going on here in the building. And there is a basketball game as Luka Samanic. Now that was DeMar DeRozan. I'm sorry.
And one thing we have here in Toyota Center is a wide open freeway right down the middle to the lane, and that's a preseason mistake there by the Rockets defense not coming over to pick DeRozan up.
I didn't recognize that afro. I think he was on the same page with Popovich, letting his hair grow in the offseason.
Well, you definitely don't. Definitely want to be silly at Pop and DeRozan right there in the same frame.
I think they have the same barber. Harden will step back and fire, and just off the mark. Cousins with a rebound, and he's fouled. He'll shoot two. Boy, what a great move there by DeMarcus Cousins, and you talked about it. They went over it in practice about rebounding better.
Yeah, and look at Cousins has 3 Spurs around him, and yet he's able to rebound that ball with one hand. He's so strong. It is good to have a legit center back on the Rockets roster.
Yeah, Cousins has done a good job. He's had 24 points in 32 minutes of play in the first 2 preseason games. And he's coming off of that Achilles and a bad knee. He's had all kind of problems. Eric Gordon's in trouble now. Picked up his dribble, just beat the shot clock, did not hit the rim. So that's a shot clock violation.
So you'd probably say that the San Antonio Spurs defense is a little bit farther along than the Rockets defense here in the preseason. And that's, of course, Greg Popovich is a defensive-minded coach, but he also has a roster, like you said, Bill, with guys who have been on the roster for a few years.
All right, so the subs are starting to come in now. DeRozan will stay in, Aldridge and Walker will stay in. Patty Mills and Trey Lyles have checked into the game for San Antonio, and Patty scored 24 points off the bench on Saturday against OKC, so nothing and has slowed down for him. Patty Mills is the ultimate sub off the bench. He can score points in bunches, and Cousins with an easy rebound off the floor. John Wall gets a pick from Cousins, steps back, and an air ball. That was defensed very well by San Antonio.
Well, we've seen a few air balls here in Toyota Center tonight. I think what we need, Bill, is we need a few fans in here.
All right. Is this a line change, Matt?
Yep, bring in the second line.
I haven't seen a hockey game in so long, I almost forgot.
Yeah, they had a nice bubble situation in hockey, but their NHL will not start until mid-January. So right now the NBA is really the only fresh league putting a new product on the floor.
Marcus Aldridge, and let me tell you, he's hitting it at a high clip too, right around 50% for Aldridge after one game against OKC, and he swished that one. So he's become a three-point shooter. He had 14 points against OKC. And there's a basket by Cousins.
Centers are having a three-point shootout.
Yep.
Welcome to 2020.
Good defense by Cousins, knocks it away from DeRozan. They'll swing it around to Aldridge now, picked up by House, who's in the game. Good play by Patty Mills off the glass. Boy, he has not lost a step. He gets better with age. Neither's this guy lost a step. Wall just missed the layup, thought he was fouled on the play, and the Rockets get it back.
Yeah, John Wall is very explosive. We go back and take a look at Cousins knocking down a three over Aldridge. See, Aldridge did not want to come out and take that three-pointer away, so he had enough room to shoot it, and then Mills with the stop and go.
Yeah,
nice
Mills,
soft off the glass.
Yeah, he's used to that, being a small guy. And let's see who's coming in there for San Antonio. There's Caboclo checking in for Houston, as Cousins will get a breather. I really like the way DeMarcus looks. He's in terrific shape. I want to see Christian Wood, too. I think he might be back Thursday. And there's a steal. And good defense by Wall, but he had the foul.
I like to see that from John Wall. Explosion on defense, going for the block, jumping high. That shows me that he's feeling healthy.
That's Devin Vassell. He is the Vassell. He is the youngster out of Florida State. And he was the first player drafted as high as number 11. He was, let's see, is Timmy. I believe Timmy Duncan was the last guy that San Antonio had to draft in the lottery. That's how long San Antonio's been out of that lottery all these years. And Florida State had some good teams. The officials: Guthrie, Bill Spooner, Brandon Schwab. There's a miss. Patty Mills down the court. Shot from the outside and the miss by Vassell. And a nice basket. Jason Tate, who was starting the two games in Chicago, gets fouled. He'll shoot two. Hey, the Houston Rockets Kids Club, presented by Children's Memorial Hermann, is the perfect stocking stuffer this holiday season. Membership includes a 2020 H-Town Blue City Edition t-shirt, hat, mesh drawstring, backpack, a Rockets yearbook, 2 tickets to a future Rockets home game, and more. Purchase
I'm 110%. I'm very happy to be back where I am. the way I rehab myself, the way my body has got stronger, the way I've had the opportunity to sit back and watch the game and also get on a strict diet to get myself back to where I wanted to be, of being in shape. It's probably the best shape I've probably been in the last 6-7 years. So I'm just ready to go. I just wish we could have fans, but I know it's a part of what's going on, and hopefully we'll get back to that.
As I said earlier in the broadcast, John Wall has just wanted to get back on the floor to show what he can do. He said over and over that he
Got a good touch around the rim. You know, all those great guys who drive to the basket. Very good. I think I get you now.
After all these years, Bill?
No. You're a sick human being, Matt. There's a nice pass inside. And the basket is good by Daniel House. That's the way the Rockets want to play. And whenever you make a fast break layup on Greg Popovich, he'll always call a timeout. James Harden is back. James Harden checks in. First thing he does is get an assist on a fast break point. Wall will dribble the ball the length of the court. Harden would rather pass it the length of the court.
So they are both going to be able to coexist on the floor at the same time. You know, James played a couple years back with Chris Paul as a point guard, and then he played last year with Russell Westbrook as a point guard, and now he's got John Wall, and all three of those guys are different type players. But I think John Wall fits pretty well with James Harden.
Yes, he does. I'd like to see him play a little bit more. There's a steal by Harden again. Nice bounce pass, but it's a little too much for Tate to handle. And fast break the other way for San Antonio.
See, these are the mistakes that players are going to be making alongside James Harden because they haven't had much practice time together. And this is going to be a short preseason, so you're going to see a lot of mistakes in games that you normally wouldn't see.
Yeah, you got to tell Tate, this is James Harden. He passes a little differently. Caboclo hasn't had a lot of time with James either. Patty Mills comes off that pick. Boy, even his misses look good. Tate with a great pass to set up House in the corner, and is tipped back outside. Tate does a lot of energy work, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. He's got long arms. Looks a lot like James Harden out there. He's got a big body, and he's very active.
James go 2 for 1 now as he misses from the outside. Patty Mills will get it in a hurry. He's still got 30 seconds to go. And a good steal by Tate and a tripping foul on Patty Mills.
Well, Harden's hands
patients. It's the way we have actually made progress in pediatric cancer care, treatment, and survival rates.
We're trying to save our kids. Everything else can just wait.
You can help us outsmart cancer. Join the fight at childrenscancer.org.
Spurs lead at 31-25 at the end of the first quarter, 48% shooting. Spurs shot 46% from the three-point line. Rockets 27%, 3 of 11. There you see the drummers, who you can hear quite well here in the arena.
Yeah, the atmosphere in the arena is actually feels pretty good. You know, feels like there is a basketball game going on. You can hear the noise and, you know, the PA announcer and all that. All we're missing is fans, but, you know, this is a little bit different than the bubble was in Orlando.
Yeah. Kind of like a Monday night game against Sacramento.
Yeah. This feels a lot like the games I used to play in Atlanta back in '95.
Yeah, that's right. There's Harden again, putting it up and in.
We had a solid 3,000, 4,000 fans at those games.
That many?
Well, on a good night.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was during a tough time for the franchise.
That was the last year at the Omni before they went to the new arena in Atlanta.
Who a strip is called. And for the first time this season, we're going to see Sterling Brown, who the Rockets picked up. He's a young kid that played at SMU. And
yeah, and he was with Milwaukee last year. But he was a big force in the NBA bubble. Sterling Brown had a run-in with the Milwaukee police department, and so Sterling Brown was one of the most important voices for the NBA in the bubble this summer, talking about racial and social justice. And so Sterling Brown not only is a good basketball player, but also a very important figure in the NBA.
And he was trying to get into his own car.
Yeah, he got tased by the police for getting into his own car, and that he ended up getting a settlement from the police department for they didn't treat him correctly.
Yep. Well, he's been raring to go now. They've got some good athletes on here, too. We'll see Nwaba in a little while. He's also, Eric's trying to find the range tonight, and there it is. Eric Gordon, you Rockets fans know, can get on a hot streak and shoot well for a week. Nwaba's in the game now also for Houston. Harden's got these guys learning to play with. There's another defensive stop by Sterling Brown. All the way inside to Harden. He's fouled on the play.
Man, that was some good defense from Sterling Brown. Gets the steal. Let's go back and take a look at Eric Gordon first. Good pass from James Harden. He's got plenty of space there because the pick was good. And now Sterling Brown gets the steal. An excellent bounce pass ahead to James Harden, who draws the foul.
Yeah, that was a great pass. He had some great years at SMU. I remember I saw him a lot in that AAC action when they would come to play Houston, and he had a good run at Milwaukee and had a chance to play some, but the Bucks made a lot of changes. We've got a timeout on the court, and the Rockets have moved within one.
This year, Xfinity Internet gives you more options than a holiday dinner table. Pick the speed that's right for you with options faster than gig. And get reliable internet with top-notch coverage, plus help keep your data safe and private with security included. No antlers on the table. How come you get to eat first?
Get started with this great offer or ask about our fastest speed, 2 gig up and down. Switch today.
Give the gift of fun to everyone on your list with in-store assembly and free curbside pickup. Merry Christmas from Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Oh, say, little doggies, why don't you lay down? Lay down, little doggies, lay down.
It's not just what we wear. We are Cavenders. And this is how we live.
This is an extremely tough challenge that Canelo is taking on.
Canelo Smith, Saturday, December 19th, live on DAZN. Download the DAZN app.
Welcome to Toyotathon. Hey. Ready for a great deal?
You know it.
With savings on Camry, RAV4, Highlander, and more, it really is the most magical time of the year. Can you pretend you didn't see this?
But I'm seeing it.
During Toyotathon.
Have on the floor. 5 guys all about the same size.
Tate with a miss.
So let's see how they play defense. Are they going to play a standard NBA defense, or are they going to switch everything? There was a switch.
Hurdle. Picked up on the play by Nwaba. Inside the Gay. Oh, it's good. And he's fouled. In the game. Trey Lyles. Got some big hombres. There's the switch. Eric Gordon on the drive. Lost the basketball. Trying to get it back. Can't do it. Call a timeout. So Vassell with a good defensive move. Got a timeout on the court. Now let's send it to Kevin and Calvin in the Rooms to Go lounge.
All right, Bill Worrell, thank you very much. He's Calvin Murphy. I'm Kevin Eschenfelder. This is the Rooms to Go lounge, and this one's kind of gone back and forth. Rockets got right back in the game with that 12-3 run before that San Antonio bucket just a moment ago. But what you've seen so far, granted, this is a preseason game. What have you seen so far on this?
As I said earlier, outside of this broadcast, they need to work on their defensive
yeah, and that's San Antonio shot the ball well.
Right, their defensive switching and help. But other than that, I think they look pretty good offensively, moving the ball, getting everybody involved.
All right, well, I'll talk all about it coming up at halftime.
Lights, camera, basketball. The Rockets are taking center stage, and we're bringing you front row for all the action. With buzzer-to-buzzer access. From pre, post, and everything in between.
No question about that.
This is one high-flying act you won't want to miss. So settle in and grab the popcorn, because it's always showtime on AT&T Sportsnet.
Visit RocketShop.com or the Rockets Team Shop at Toyota Center for the widest selection of Rockets gear. Shop for the latest jerseys, t-shirts, jackets, hats, kids and women's apparel, along with novelty items and much, much more. Cheer on the Rockets all season long with the latest and greatest in Rockets gear. Grab all your new gear today at RocketShop.com or the Rockets Team Shop at Toyota Center.
It's not enough to be the leader in robotic-assisted procedures if we're not by your side for every step of your recovery, guiding you back to what makes you, you. Because it's not enough to replace your knee if we're not getting you to the moments that can't be replaced. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
Chili's first because
Chili's
it's
the
like
star.
the star of it. And then cheese is just there to be like,
I'm gonna lift you up. It would be nothing without
the Fritos and the cheese.
And cheese is like the hype man. Sonic Fritos Chili Cheese Junior Wrap. I got you.
Yeah.
This week on Rockets All Access, it's the season preview show. We'll take a look at the revamped roster and preview what's to come during the 2020-21 NBA season. All that and more on Rockets All Access only on AT&T Sportsnet. Now, John Wall isn't the only Rocket that's coming off an Achilles injury. David Nwaba tore his Achilles last season with the Nets. I had a chance to ask both of them who, if anyone, they had talked to after the injury, and they both told me they had talked to Rudy Gay of the San Antonio Spurs. Now, you may remember Gay tore his Achilles back in January of 2017. He joined the Spurs after that injury, and I had a chance to sit down with him then. He told me that it was one of the most challenging things he had ever been through, but was excited. excited to return to the floor to show people what he could do. That's what these players are all echoing, saying, we just want a chance to get back on the floor to show that we can still be the same player we were before the injury. Guys.
Yeah, that Achilles injury is going around. Everybody has been getting it lately.
Is it contagious?
No, but you got to stretch. That's a very important area of your body, especially on a basketball player. There's a great move inside. With the back. Basket. And Lyles with an offensive foul. Good positioning by Jayshawn Tate.
Yeah, that's the five-man lineup right there that Stephen Silas has out there with everybody the same size. And now he's making a couple subs. He's bringing in P.J. Tucker and John Wall. So Stephen Silas taking a look at all the different guys he has way down deep on his bench. There's a bunch of guys down the roster there that he can go to. You see, like Gerald Green hasn't even played here tonight yet, and so there's a bunch of guys battling for some time right now.
Yeah, Raphael's done a great job. The Rockets have just about changed everybody but owners. You know, I was telling Tillman, hold on. Everybody left. They had to redo it from top to bottom, and they've really, Raphael's done a good job along with Tad Brown and that group of holding everything together. And there's Eric Gordon.
Yeah, Eric Gordon's still here, PJ's still here, and Harden is still here. And Eric Gordon, we're expecting big things from him this season. He looks 100% healthy.
And you hear the crowd yelling defense. DeRozan with a miss. Rockets have finally tied the game up. I don't know if the Rockets. Basket by Wall. Rockets have not led, but a basket and an offensive foul call.
That was on Cousins, and Cousins pushed LaMarcus Aldridge in the back. But that's the sub that I was wondering if Silas was going to bring in a big man to guard Aldridge, and he sure enough did.
As Cousins has moved his game more to the perimeter, he has not rebounded like he did in the early years at Sacramento. And of course, he's been around to Golden State. He's been around to the Lakers. 15 foul on Houston. Get the latest and greatest Rockets gear at rocketshop.com to kick off the new NBA season. Shop the brand new H-Town Blue City Edition collection. Latest jerseys, t-shirts, jackets, hats, kids, and women's apparel and more. Purchase today at rocketshop.com. I like that new jersey. So the Spurs go back on top by a point. Rockets will play the Spurs again Thursday night, and then that's it for preseason. John Wall puts it in high gear.
Effortless. Just getting by his defender with no problem at all.
When he came into the league, John Wall, of course, played at Washington, and Sam Cassell was his coach. And I remember Sam telling me, you've never seen anybody off the dribble any faster than John Wall is. And there's a foul called on LaMarcus Aldridge. Watch this first step.
See, he goes by 2 Spurs and no help defender anywhere near. Too quick to the rim. They couldn't even get over there to help.
He played with DeMarcus Cousins at Kentucky. And so when Sam got him, he said, we're going to refine a few things on him, but one thing we can't teach him is the speed that he has. And he really had about 4 or 5 years in Washington where he and Bradley Beal were unstoppable offensively. They just didn't have enough to help him.
And I like that he was playing for former Rocket Scott Brooks there in Washington.
Yes.
And then when John Wall comes to Houston, he decides to wear Scott Brooks's number.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty cool.
Yep. Murray. Ball is knocked away by Wall. PJ in the open court gives it up to House. House with a hammer.
And that's what the Rockets want to do right there. They want to use their defense to create easy baskets on the offensive end.
Rockets up by 3. And tipped out of bounds by PJ Tucker. And a blocking foul is called on Wall.
So there's the steal. Now get out and run. Look at Daniel House running the right wing. Going full speed, knowing that if he gets out in front, he'll have an easy basket.
A lot of athleticism on this team. You got House, who was rolling along. The Rockets were rolling along. We'll talk about it. And we're going to roll along for a commercial break.
Yeah, I'll be there. If you need a little love, I got a little love to share. Yeah, I'm gonna come through. You'll never be alone, 'cause I'll be there for you. I'll be there, I'll be there for you.
This year, holiday even brighter. From our store to any front door.
It's not enough to be the leader in robotic-assisted procedures if we're not by your side for every step of your recovery, guiding you back to what makes you, you. Because it's not enough to replace your knee if we're not getting you to the moments that can't be replaced. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
Rockets up by 3, a block.
Yeah, it was called a block, and see John Wall getting in there, trying to take a charge. It was the old pass and crash that I hate. But see the official on the left calling the block right there.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was. I think it was a block. And you would agree with that call since you don't like that flop anyway.
Yeah, once the offensive player passes the ball, then any contact after the pass, just let it go. The play will stay as a block on John Wall.
Who's controlling the boos down there on the sound system?
I don't know, but I like that.
That was a good boo.
I think I heard Kaylee's voice in there booing as well.
Yeah. Did you hear her voice? She has to sit up here with the older people.
What'd you call me?
She can't go down on the court like she normally does. She has the best seat in the house, but she has to stay up here now and wear a mask.
Yeah, the COVID protocols have changed everything in our life, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Now, you and I should wear masks.
Yes.
But Kaylee shouldn't wear a mask.
She's young and healthy. We're the old guys.
Yeah, that's right. Aldridge now gets a double team, passes out, good defense. Oh, what a great pass inside, and a foul on PJ Tucker. Great action.
See, there's the double team, and the Rockets had a steal, but when they lost the steal, then DeRozan with a nifty behind-the-back pass to create something out of nothing. PJ he is locked in.
Rockets over the limit. The Spurs still have a couple of fouls to give as the game is tied at 45. LaMarcus Aldridge, 15 years in the NBA. How about that? Still going strong.
Yeah, and remember all those years he was with the Portland Trailblazers.
Oh, man.
Woo. Dropping numbers on the Rockets in the playoffs.
Had a couple of 40-plus games, didn't he, against us in here?
Yep.
That turnaround jumper. There's a miss by House. Cousins with the rebound. Trying to save it. He does. McLemore swings it around the horn. And House had it knocked away by Aldridge. Five seconds on the shot clock. So a whistle before the jump shot. I think they called a foul.
That's on Murray. Yeah, he grabbed a hold of Cousins. And when you got San Antonio and Houston, there'll be a lot of Holton going on.
Yeah,
There's
a lot of Holton. What about San Antonio talking about Holton? Do they have that rodeo road trip anymore? There's the ball thrown out of bounds by San Antonio.
It's a good question. I wouldn't think that there'd be a rodeo.
I don't think there's going to be a rodeo. Yeah, the one here was put back until maybe May.
Yep.
So they requested, though, I saw where they requested to get those same days so that they could go on the road because they have bonded so much. Remember those stories about how going out on the road made some of those great championship teams? They've won 5 championships.
One of the things about Greg Popovich is he has team dinners all the time, and they have really high-end food, but even like the top-notch wine. Greg Popovich is a wine connoisseur, and so those team meals that he has with his players are the bonding experiences that really make the San Antonio Spurs what they are.
DeJounte Murray answers the jumper. The other end, Cousins looked like he got poked in the face. Wall turns DeRozan around, and it's just off the iron. Won't go. Those are really tough layups. And a badly missed shot. Bodies fall, and it goes to Houston. So Trey Lyles gets his 3rd foul. Still one more foul by San Antonio before the Rockets get to shoot. So they've done a good job of keeping those fouls down. Of course, Harden hadn't played a lot. He usually gets to the line by himself, but San Antonio's pretty good at not fouling him. Nice pass to P.J. Tucker and an air ball. Rockets have had about 3 of those tonight. McLemore. Rockets have the numbers if they want to attack. There it is. P.J. Tucker finger rolls it up and draws a foul. He'll shoot 2.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of good action, a lot of good movement from the Rockets on the offensive end. We're not seeing a lot of making.
No.
But that's just because it is so early in the preseason, and these players still have to get in shape and get in rhythm. Let's take advantage of tonight's Rockets Shop online item of the game. Tonight's purchase a men's Houston Rockets long sleeve holiday tee for $25. Grab yours tonight only at rocketshop.com. The inventory is limited.
Holiday what?
A holiday tee. It's pretty cool looking. The candy canes on there.
John Wall comes out of the game now. P.J. Tucker will shoot the free throws. Well, the Rockets have been struggling from that free throw line even when they make one. 8 of 14. Rockets 57% from the free throw line. Patty Mills, ball stolen. Good defensive play by DeMarcus Cousins. Good to have a center who's got a handle, isn't it? He can dribble that ball himself. You don't have to worry about just passing it to him in the lane. He gets that step back, puts it up, just rolls off the iron. Rockets are getting a lot of iron, but it's not going down. Oh, a strip by Cousins on Lonnie Walker. Bounce pass inside to McLemore. How about the big fella? PJ working on LaMarcus Aldridge and a foul on PJ Tucker. Oh, a strip by Cousins on Lonnie Walker. Bounce pass inside to McLemore. How about the big fella? PJ working on LaMarcus Aldridge and a foul on PJ Tucker.
Well, these two guys, DeMarcus Cousins and McLemore, played together in Sacramento. And you see Cousins looking up, sees the defender there, and Ben McLemore does a good job of running the floor to give Cousins an outlet there. Good defense, turn it into an easy bucket.
You know, Cousins is a five-time All-Star. And wasn't he on one of the Olympic teams?
I think he was.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a terrific player.
So he really can play. And it's just health issues that have kept him off the court here the last couple of years.
And he just signed a one-year contract with the Rockets. Basically, it's kind of a make-good contract. And he's looking good so far. Rockets might have a big bargain with Cousins this year.
Yep. Great pass inside the house, who reverses the basket and missed the shot. He's got another chance, misses it again, and he tips it up and in. So he got a couple of offensive rebounds out of it and still got the basket.
Was that Moses Malone out there?
Yes, indeed. I said, Moses, we're not going to run any plays for you. You'll have to get your own baskets. There's a miss, and Cousins with the rebound. Working on Patty Mills. Beats him to the basket. Back outside again. They switch it around.
Oh.
Well, House was trying it behind the back to Harden. Harden wasn't ready for it.
He's not ready for that.
Good pickup by Harden on DeRozan. Patty Mills with that quick release. Game tied at 53. Got a good one. Rockets can go for the final shot. There'll be a few seconds left on the game clock. That's where McLemore is his best. Don't dribble. Don't do anything. Just put the ball up. Just shoot the ball. DeRozan finds his spot. 1 second left. Cousins with a line drive to end the first half. Houston outscores San Antonio 31-24 in the second quarter. And the Rockets lead it by 1. Stay tuned for Rockets halftime, presented by Toyota. Don't go away.
Your mother is a special lady, and on her special day, you promised her a special celebration. But if slow upload speeds won't let your video call through because you have cable,
Rockets halftime presented by Toyota. That is Toyota Center in downtown Houston, where the Houston Rockets leading it at halftime, coming from behind to have a 1-point lead, 56-55 the count. Houston leading it over the San Antonio Spurs with 24 minutes in the books. We welcome into our AT&T Sportsnet studios alongside the Hall of Famer Calvin Murphy, Kevin Eschenfelder, back with you. And solid first half all the way around from the Houston Rockets and what you saw from them, outscoring the San Antonio Spurs by 7 in that second quarter. But initial thoughts when you took a look at those first 24 minutes?
Well, the Rockets defense had to take another step up, which they did, which allowed them, they started getting their offense based on their defense. They came up with some nice steals, especially Wall. He had 3. So I was pretty pleased with what I saw for the first time with them all playing together with Harden.
Well, what you did see for the first time, if you're a Rockets fan, that is James Harden on a basketball court this season in this preseason, and we got a chance to see him today. And James Harden, well, solid first half, looked very much like, well, James Harden. Took only 4 shots, but 9 points in the first half.
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting when you start talking about he only took 4 shots, but he played well by getting the ball around to everybody and getting everybody involved. So he didn't necessarily need to get a lot of points when you have a lot of offensive players on the floor.
What is James Harden looking to do in this preseason? He's not trying to refine his offensive game. He is what he is, and we all know what that's going to be. What is he trying to do as far as this Rockets team?
Well, first of all, individually, he's trying to get his timing and his rhythm. You know, he's got to get into playing shape. That's number one. But as far as team concept is concerned, he's trying to get everybody comfortable with the way he plays the game. So that, you know, for instance, there was one time when he gave a pass to a teammate who didn't expect it. Right. See, so they've got to get this in the same rhythm. And this consistent basis.
All right, plenty more to come here on the Rockets halftime. Presented by Toyota. Rockets leading the San Antonio Spurs. They outscore San Antonio 31-24 in the second quarter to lead by 1 at halftime. Back with more from our AT&T Sportsnet studios in just a moment.
Rockets halftime on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Save big on a new Toyota Tundra. Hurry to buy. Toyota.com today.
Toyotathon is on. Now's the time to get a great deal on Tacoma, RAV4, Camry, and more. I'll take it. I'll get this wrapped up for you. I wish I hadn't just unwrapped it.
During Toyotathon, get $1,500 total bonus, or qualified lessees can lease a new, virtually indestructible 2021 Tacoma Special Edition for only $199 a month.
Toyotathon is on. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Give the gift of fun to everyone on your list with
Rockets halftime on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Save big on a new Toyota Tundra. Hurry to buy. Toyota.com today.
Halftime at Toyota Center. It's Rockets halftime presented by Toyota in Houston with a 1-point lead, 56-55. David Nwaba is one of those young Rockets that's getting a chance here in this preseason. We're getting a chance to know him. Played only 3 minutes in the first half, but he's going to spend a good 90 seconds with our Kaylee Griffin.
David, welcome to Houston. Everyone's very excited to have you here. You are coming off an Achilles injury, which obviously people know is a very tough rehab process. What was that process like for you?
Oh, it's been tough. You know, I'm 11 months in, showing a lot of progress, but I started seeing progress around like the 6-month mark. So it was definitely tough in the beginning, but I see the light now, so I'm happy about that.
You mentioned that while you were going through this process, you talked to players like Rudy Gay and Rodney Hood who have also gone through the same injury. Rodney Hood was going through it at the same time. How helpful was it to talk to players that have gone through the same situation as you?
Oh, yeah, it helps a ton to know that, you know, they have their confidence back to be the same player that they once were. Talk to guys like KD as well, who are experiencing the same injury. So it was definitely good to hear from them.
This injury is one that people sometimes have a tough time coming back from. How much are you looking forward to getting back on the floor and showing people where you are now?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. You know, it's been almost a year since I've played a live game, so I'm definitely excited to show people what I bring to the team and, you know, just bring the energy like I usually do and just play my game.
David had 16 points last time out, 11 points in 16 minutes, I should say, last time out against the Chicago Bulls. He's one of those guys that, you know, can help out a team. He was with Brooklyn last year, had the Achilles injury. Last game he played was against the San Antonio Spurs on December 19th. But a guy that, you know, when healthy, can help out this Rockets team.
A very important entity is the bench. Guys that can come in a small amount of time and get a lot done, and he's one of those kind of players.
It's interesting, when he had that Achilles injury, you know, he enlisted the knowledge and the advice of guys like Kevin Durant, like Rudy Gay that you're seeing play tonight. Rodney Hood, also another one of those guys that he went to and kind of helped him with that rehab. And you know, rehabbing difficult during this whole pandemic as well. Okay, let's talk about what John Wall was able to do in the first half. Remember, John scores 34 points in the first 2 games of the preseason. A solid first half in this one tonight for the Rockets guard, as he comes up with 9 points for the Rockets in this one tonight.
Well, I can tell you one thing. The fact that he has that first step to the basket tells you that he's back from his injury, and you know that injury being the Achilles tendon, but he has that first big step going to the basket, and he still has that explosiveness going up.
Well, 9 points in 16 minutes. He's played, and you can tell that Stephen Silas, he's not afraid. It's a different preseason. This is not somewhere, you know, you got a lot of games for guys to really get, you know, going. I mean, it's going to be, the regular season going to be here before you know it. So guys are playing some minutes. You're seeing he's not afraid to let a guy run out there and play 20 minutes. He's played 9 minutes here in this first half.
Well, you got to remember, this is a brand new team. 13 new players, new coach, new general manager, new system. You've got to get your mainstay acclimated to what you're trying to do and get them going quickly. Now, when you talked about Wall, he also had 3 steals defensively. So he's got a lot out of his minutes played in the first half.
I said 9 minutes, actually 16 minutes in the first half. Where they got to tighten things up, I guess San Antonio shooting about 47% in the first half. You want to see the defense get a little better here in the second half?
Oh, well, yeah. All they've got to do is keep San Antonio defensively on the perimeter and rebound. And since they got a big boy now underneath the basket, he should be able to do his job around there.
All right, Rockets lead it by 1 at halftime. That's going to do it for the Rockets halftime presented by Toyota. As Houston shoots 43% in the first half of this game. Back with more from Toyota Center. We'll rejoin Bill Worrell, Matt Bullard, and Kaylee Griffin coming up next. The second half next here on AT&T Sportsnet. We'll see you on the postgame show.
Capital 15 se une con orgullo en la celebración de este 20. El grupo de medios
All of his threes come in the flow and right off the ball. Good pass to McLemore. He got it! What a pass to McLemore!
The Rockets take on the Spurs. Thursday at 6:30 on AT&T Sportsnet.
Canal de YouTube Nancy Amancio Music. Suscríbete y sé parte de nuestra familia. De
Very much, but they did get it right there at the end to lead by one, 56-55, and Rockets not hitting their free throws particularly well or their threes, but they are rebounding the ball well.
Yeah, the rebounding is much better for the Rockets today, only holding the Spurs to only 2 offensive rebounds. Rockets are getting the shots that they want to have. They're doing a good job of scoring in the paint. They're just not shooting it very well from the three-point line, and you got to expect that here early in the preseason.
You know, not one Rocket in double figures here at halftime. We haven't seen that very often. Harden's got 9 points. He has 4 assists to lead Houston.
And I think the body language looks good among these guys. Everybody's communicating with each other. Everybody's slapping each other on the back, helping each other. And you see the first half leaders right there with Harden and Cousins both playing 15 minutes. John Wall doing a nice job scoring and passing the ball around. And LaMarcus Aldridge, man, he just continues to do it year after year.
So we'll see what the Rockets start out with now. There you see Harden and Cousins. Same 5 for Houston. John Wall looks inside for Cousins. Cousins couldn't handle the ball. Vassell with the miss on the three-point shot. It goes out of bounds. Rockets will have it. So far, both of the coaches have stayed with their teams. Wall, I guess, thought Eric was going to break to the basket. He did not. Vassell with the miss. Good defense by Houston. Here comes Harden the other way. Cousins called for a push.
But that's the pick and roll with Harden and Cousins that's small guy on him. So that meant Cousins had a mouse in the house, just got caught with a little push.
Cousins with his 3rd foul. DeJounte Murray, and Cousins again knocks it away. He's done that 3 different times in this game to a smaller player, and picking the pocket is Murray to Gay. Rudy Gay with the slam. Cousins with the basketball now. The center playing more prominent role, handling the basketball out on the perimeter. DeMarcus says, I'm tired of passing, I'm going to shoot. Murray takes it to the basket now, gets it back outside. Eric Gordon. Nice defense by Eric. Marcus Aldridge, you have to run at him now at the three-point line. Didn't have to before. And Harden says, I'll Make a three, but he rimmed it out.
PJ with a nice screen to give Harden the open look.
So we've had one basket coming out of the halftime, and Rudy Gay right to the bucket. So we got a timeout by Stephen Silas as the Rockets get off to a slow start.
Imagine life in that, or that. Having zero stress. Wasting zero energy worrying. 0 days wanting less seats, more seats, and zero regrets. Imagine that. 0 reasons not to get into a Volkswagen, especially now that you can start shopping from home. Click, call, or come by today. Visit our Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event and lease the 2020 T1S today with 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0.
Rockets basketball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Memorial Hermann Ironman Sports Medicine Institute, bringing elite care to all athletes. Welcome back to Toyota Center as the Spurs now have come out and hit a couple of baskets to take a 3-point lead over Houston. The Rockets ice cold to come out, so they take a timeout. And there's John Wall talking to Barry.
Barry Gibb?
Yeah. The 70-year-old version.
I want to know why Pop's hair is longer than Becky Hammon's. What's up with that, Pop?
I don't know. That's good point. He needs a ponytail like Willie's got.
What? You saying Pop needs a man bun?
Yeah. No, not a man bun. I heard you guys the other night. He needs a Willie Nelson, need to braid that thing.
Well, that's getting closer where Pop could actually braid it.
John Wall will go to the line to shoot. Kaylee.
Watch the Rockets on the go all season long. Download the AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or go to attsportsnet.com to stream from your computer. Log in with your cable account information and you're all set. Available to customers whose TV subscription includes AT&T Sportsnet, subject to blackouts. Territorial restrictions apply. Now, guys, we heard from Sterling Brown for the first time today. I asked him how he would describe his game. He told me he's a defensive-minded player that can knock down the three, but really he'll do whatever needs to be done to get the win. He said he's really enjoyed playing under Coach Silas because he's direct, not beating around the bush, and pointed out that the team's focus is on the defensive end. He said there's no ceiling. We can be as good as we want to be.
Well, of course, it starts with defense. Stephen was a defensive coordinator when he first broke in under his dad, and quickly moved on into as an offensive coach later on. He had 17 years there of being an assistant coach. There's Harden with a long-range three. Breaks into double figures, and the crowd yelling defense. Vassell with a miss. LaMarcus Aldridge with a miss. And Harden court.
Take a look at what James Harden's been doing over the last 8 years in a Rockets uniform. Just one-on-one, cooking guys, trying to guard him. You can't guard him with one guy. It's too good.
Yeah,
21 games with 40 or more points last season. 10 more than any other player. It's a scoring machine.
And Harden said, man, I got fouled.
Either got fouled or got it blocked. He's getting into the paint. What happened? Well, he just missed it. Yeah, he just missed it.
Well, they fouled his right arm, but he's shooting with his left. DeJounte Murray. Tough pass to Aldridge in the paint. And Cousins draws the charge. Cousins is really smart. He's a smart player.
And he really is fitting well with the Rockets. Come right into Houston. Jumping right into the system. Playing well on both ends. Christian Wood is the young player that the Rockets signed and have him penciled in as the starting center. But Marcus Cousins is going to have a say about that because he's playing well.
Eric Gordon into the corner, and P.J. Tucker with a three. That's 2 for him tonight. Tell what he's been doing during the layoff. He stayed in terrific shape, and that shot from the corner is still right on. Rudy Gay gets double teamed by Houston. Tipped away by P.J. Tucker. And they thought that Gay knocked it out of bounds. 6-0 run by Houston. Aldridge misses, and Tucker goes and gets it. I'll tell you what, if there's a ball on the floor, Tucker's going to come away with it every time. Wall cross court. Down the baseline, back outside for the three. John Wall arches it up and misses. Walker, deep. Cousins clears it out. Here's Wall running the court. Harden's on the wing. Wall carried it on his hip with no call. Got away with one there.
Yeah, he did. That wasn't very clean, but that was what the Rockets are looking for. Look at John Wall's look on his face like, ooh,
Thank you.
Thank you for not calling that travel. But James Harden made that play by running hard to the corner to open up the drive to the rim.
Biggest lead for Houston now. 8-0 run. LaMarcus Aldridge will work on Cousins. And a tripping foul called on DeMarcus.
See how Harden gets to the corner, so that means John Wall can turn on the juice to get to the rim, but he took 3 steps for sure. That was a missed call. Let's count him here. 1, 2, 3. But he looked very smooth doing it.
Well, that's because the referee thought he was going behind his back with a pass. He was going to let him make it. There's a steal by Harden. Harden puts his body right in front of the defender and knocked out of bounds by San Antonio.
Good poke check there from Aldridge, who had, that was really the only play he had as Harden was ahead of both players. See how James sort of slows up to get a little space, but Aldridge with the poke check right there.
All right, he's got the rookie on him. Vassell takes it inside, misses. Can you imagine Vassell sitting there guarding Harden saying, I was at Florida State not too long ago?
That reminds me of when I was playing and I was guarding Larry Bird, my rookie year. I'm like, wow, can you imagine I'm guarding Larry Bird? That's like what Vassell's saying, guarding James Harden.
Yeah, he said, hey, Mom, see what I did? I held him to a missed layup. And knocked out of bounds by San Antonio.
You see the Spurs getting out on the break. Good outlet pass. Got to have guys running. Well, that is one thing that Walker can do.
Oldest guy on the team, pass to the youngest.
Remember, Lonnie Walker had a lot of hair last year, and he cut it after the season.
Knocked out of bounds by Aldridge. Rockets up by 4, halfway through the third quarter of play. Preseason game number 3. These two teams will play again Thursday night. Right here on AT&T Sportsnet. Cousins just off the back of the iron. Cousins came into this game shooting 63% from behind the arc. There's another steal by Harden. 3-on-1 fast break. Cross court to Eric Gordon. Cousins with the rebound. Cousins up and in. That was a good quick shot because he had Cousins underneath.
Yeah, that's why the Eric shot was a good one, because he knew he had a rebounder and there was nobody to box Cousins out.
Walker throws it to the San Antonio bench. Pirtle will check in now for San Antonio. Well, not right now. Rockets on a 10-2 run the last 4 minutes. And it's been created by turnovers. Harden off the back of the iron. And the rebound goes to Trey Lyles. Almost a steal by Eric Gordon. Walker takes it in for 2. Oh, look at Wall.
And you see how John Wall can run off the floor. Since there aren't fans in the arenas now, there's plenty of space for these players to attack the rim and then run off the floor without worrying about injuring themselves or the fans. I know when we get fans back in the arena, those seats will be sold, but I like that the players have all this space to play hard even off the floor.
Rockets are excited to begin hosting games with those fans on December 23rd. That'll be against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Rockets and Toyota Center have been working hard to ensure a special first-class live experience this year. More than ever, the Rockets need you to create a great home court advantage. So call 713-758-7300 for your Rockets ticket information. I don't know. I know some players that like to have the fans there so they can catch them.
Well, I know if you're a fan, you don't want to try to catch DeMarcus Cousins or James Harden.
Oh, nice. Nice shot by Vassell.
Hang time for the young fella.
Yeah. Florida State did a lot of winning in his 2 years there. Lyles with a rebound quickly to Patty Mills. Lonnie Walker puts that up to the miss. Spurs started out red hot, have cooled off a little bit. Brown has in the game. He and Wall in the backcourt. Eric Gordon says, I don't need no pick. And a foul called on Tate. That was a losing proposition. Pirtle's 7-footer.
Well, the Rockets have taken half of their shots from the three-point line, but they're only shooting 28%. So that's good news that the Rockets are still a high-volume three-point shooting team under Silas. You want to get those extra points when you can, but early in the season, the Rockets' shooting touch is yet to show up.
Well, it showed up in that first game. You guys did. I think, what did you shoot, 50%?
Yep. But then you know, in training camp, you have practice every day. Sometimes you have 2-a-day practices. Right about now in training camp, your legs are completely dead. So the three-point shooting is not going to be as good as it will be when everybody gets in shape.
Oh, boy. I think the further back he gets, the better he shoots. What was that, about 26?
Yeah, he's got deep range. And we're seeing deep range from a lot of players in the NBA. You see Damian Lillard, some of the shots he's been taking this season already.
Mid-court. Did you see the mid-quarter?
Yep.
Pirtle puts it up. And that's going to be a basket and a free throw for Jakob Pirtle.
Let's go back and take a look at Eric Gordon, how far behind the three-point line. That's about 4 or 5 feet behind it. And he creates enough space to get that shot off. And now the Spurs inside with Pirtle. And Greg Popovich wants Pirtle to be much more aggressive on the offensive end this season. They're expecting him to take another step forward in his development as a player.
You know, he really talk about development now. That's that's what you do in your developmental programs. You get a kid like that, and he has really become a nice player. Knocked out of bounds by Lyles. They've worked with him in the program. And as I said earlier, they've got 6 first-round draft choices that are still on their roster, and they've developed those youngsters. Guys like White, who's not playing tonight. Tate puts it up and misses. Lyles from the deep corner with a miss. House, great reaction. That's easy pickings for Wall. You go one-on-one, you can't stop him. He can go to his left or his right. He's tough. So John Wall with 13 points to lead the Rockets. San Antonio calls the timeout.
I can have a crunchy demeanor sometimes. Yeah, you're a little crunchy, you're a little abrasive. Maybe that crunchy person just needs to eat something. And then they'll be a little less crunchy. Yeah.
Sonic Fritos Chili Cheese Junior Wrap.
Someone woke up on the wrong side of the crunch this morning.
By 4. Let's get to the bullseye right away. Eric Gordon has the ball, and John Wall is going to cut off of Eric Gordon. And then Boogie Cousins is going to come over and set a pick and roll. So go ahead and let that happen. And watch LaMarcus Aldridge, how he guards this. As Eric comes off, Aldridge drops. So stop it right here. That's the drop coverage. And here's the mismatch. Cousins realizes he has a mismatch, so he's going to try to take the little man inside, and Eric's going to give him some space. Go ahead and let that happen. And now watch Rudy Gay. Rudy realizes that Aldridge is beat, so there's your corner 3. Defense, and P.J. Tucker, you can see right there, has 8 points on a couple made threes.
Yeah, he's done a good job of hitting that shot when it's been available. Lyles got caught in a trap now. Clemens has checked into the game. And this is going to be another steal for Tate. He's got 3 of them tonight. Cross-court pass. Clemens got to hit this shot. He's 4 for 17 going into this game.
Yeah, and that's his strength, shooting the three ball. So he is getting off to a slow start this season, shooting.
And a miss. Patty Mills back the other way. Pirtle goes down the baseline, twists up and in.
And that's what they want from him. When he's got the ball in the post, he's got a little man on him. They want him to be aggressive and look to score.
House. Nice move. Walks it in. Gets it back. And that's going to be traveling. San Antonio, all of their guards, except for Mills, is just strictly a shooter. Pretty long and lean, and they're good defensive players.
Well, you got to be a good defender to play for Pop, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
If you're not playing defense, he's going to sit you down.
There's Lyles with the miss. And the rebound to Sean Tate. Nice twisting move. Puts it up with the left hand.
Yeah, that's how he played last year in Australia. He was the best player on the floor every time he played last year. And that's exactly what the Rockets want to see from him at the NBA level, is that kind of aggressiveness in the open court. He just goes right at Pirtle and spins around him and lays it up. When you play overseas on other leagues and you're as good a player as Tate is, your confidence just goes sky high. So you got to carry that confidence to the NBA.
Of course, a lot of those moves that worked in Australia don't necessarily work in the NBA. That's another side of it. But Tate is impressing. The coaches with his tenacity on defense. Clemens. Nice pass to Tate. Good assist from Chris. This is the biggest lead of the game for Houston, but the best I've seen Tate play so far. Patty Mills picked up by Clemens. 6 on the shot clock. Good pickup defense by Tate and a body foul.
That's another thing Tate's going to learn about the NBA is veteran players like Patty Mills will be able to sell that contact and get the call. We'll see how Tate gets his body in there. And Patty Mills runs right into him, falls down, gets the call. That was not something that was a foul in Australia. Although, you know, Patty Mills is native to Australia, so I'm sure Jay Sean Tate called his buddies back in Australia and said, hey, did you see who I fouled tonight?
Yeah. Well, you know, if you practice defending those kangaroos, what was it, Adams for Oklahoma City said that's what he did when they had to quarantine?
Yeah, he was boxing kangaroos.
He was boxing kangaroos back in New Zealand. 74-72. 17 seconds left as we click it down. The Spurs have a foul to give if they want to. Clemens, there it is right there. Patty Mills reached out and grabbed him. And that will give the Rockets 7 seconds now to get the final shot. Now both teams in the penalty. Three seconds. Back to McLemore. Has to take a bad shot. Good defense by San Antonio. That's the end of 3 quarters of play. The Rockets outscore the Spurs 21-17 and lead it by 5.
Not enough.